Welcome back, friends. In today's video, I'm going to be making the skillet cheesy bread. For my yeast mixture, I will be adding a half a cup of warm milk, 2 teaspoons of dry active yeast, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. So now I'm just going to give this a quick stir to help dissolve the sugar, and I will let this bloom for 15 minutes. Look at that beautiful bloom. So here in my mixing bowl, I have already put in 2 cups of flour, and I'm adding a half a cup of warm milk, 7 tablespoons of melted butter, and then here is my 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and this is a 1/3 cup of sugar with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and this is my yeast mixture. I also added 4 egg yolks. In the comments below, you can find the ingredient. Y'all, my kids absolutely loves this recipe. You can add pizza sauce on this instead of just making cheesy bread. You can add any kind of toppings you would like. I have went ahead and preheated my oven to 350. So as I'm working with this dough, I'm realizing there's something just not right. I'm missing something. So after checking my recipe, I realize I should have added 3 cups of flour instead of 2. So here I am. I'm going to slowly add this flour into my dough just to make sure I'm not adding too much. So here I am again, adding a little bit more until I get the consistency that I'm looking for. So I ended up having to add another whole cup of flour to this recipe. So now I'm going to let it rise for I believe it'll be about 1.5 hours. So here I've coated my cast iron skillet with some butter. And I haven't mentioned, but I have an issue with sticky things. I don't like the texture of sticky things, so messing with dough, I just don't like to mess with dough. I'm not going to knead this again. I'm just going to coat my hands quickly with some butter so it doesn't stick. And I'm going to spread this out into my pan. This is going to make a really thick cheesy bread. So if you don't want your bread that thick, then I would suggest cutting this bread down to half. And so now I'm just going to coat the top of my bread with this butter. While doing this, I did skip a step. I should have also added the garlic powder and the parsley on top of my dough. But I didn't do that. I just stuck it in the oven and baked this for about 15 minutes. So in the oven it goes, about 15 minutes until the top is a little crunchy and the bottom is starting to turn dark. So here I am, I'm just pulling it out after it's been in for 15 minutes, checking the bottom and making sure it is going to be done enough. So here I am, going back, adding my garlic and my parsley. It's just not cheesy bread without these two ingredients. So you know how you go to the restaurants and you order cheesy bread and they have the crunch around the edges of the cheesy bread? Well, what you need to do is what I'm doing here. You're going to line the outside of the pan with the cheese. That way when it melts, that cheese gets down in there and it gives you that crunch, that salty crunch. So the type of cheese that I'm using is a cheddar and a mozzarella. If I would have had some Parmesan, I would have added that as well. I think the more cheese, the better. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to add some more of my garlic powder. I would have used salt, garlic salt, but I'm out. So I'm using garlic powder, and I'm also going to sprinkle some more of that parsley on top just to make it pretty. So now we're going to go right back in the oven. I still have it set at 350. I want that cheese to get ooey and gooey and with a little crunch around the edges. Oh my goodness, this is so yummy. I cannot wait to cut into this. My kids have been asking and asking, is it ready yet, Mom? Is it ready? So now I'm going to go around the edges. I'm going to loosen it up. Normally it doesn't stick. I've never had a problem with it sticking, but I'm going to check and make sure the underneath is how I like it. And so now I like to slip this onto a cutting board. It just makes it really easy to cut into the slices. So this past spring was the first time that we actually had a vegetable garden, and I grew a lot of tomatoes. So here is some homemade pizza sauce or marinara sauce that I have made up and canned. We have been really enjoying that. So as you can see, having it on the cutting board, it does make a difference, and it makes it super easy to cut into this. I am wishing I would have cut down my bread recipe. It is a little thicker than I normally do it. Well, I can tell you the kids did not complain one bit. They enjoyed it. Thank you for following along with me today. If you make this recipe for your family, please let me know if they enjoyed it.